Hi everyone, this is Rehan Nota from India Today Gaming, and welcome back to a new episode of 1v1. Today we have with us Dinesh Sharma, the business head of the commercial PC and smartphone section in the System Business Group at ASUS India. In this conversation, we will talk about ASUS ROG 5 series that recently launched in India. Thanks a lot, Dinesh, for joining us, and I guess let's get started with the questions.
Yes, Rehan. Thanks a lot.
ASUS just launched the ROG Phone 5 in India. Could you share something about the initial reception of the phone or the entire lineup, in fact?
So, Rehan, the response which is there from the fans and also, in general, the consumers, the tech media, and the tech gurus, is very, very, very exciting and very encouraging. Really happy that people have really appreciated the product. They've got into core detailing of it, and minor aspects, the small detailing which makes a big difference that ROG brings to the table. And people are also excited with the upgrades that we've got to the product. And also, I see huge excitement and appreciation, for the pricing that we've introduced for the product and the value for money that the product is delivering. So very excited, with the response that is coming in for the ROG Phone 5.
And could you recap how the phone is different? Obviously, the upgraded internals, but what are the major differences between the ROG Phone 3 and the 5?
Sure.
And also, adding to that question, what was the most demanded feedback, or rather, the most requested feedback that you took it into account while creating the phone?
Okay, very, very good question, Rehan. So, a couple of things. One, let's look at very quickly summarizing the upgrades which are there, right? Essential upgrades which are there. Starting with it, firstly, the processor gets upgraded from 865 plus to 888, which gives you 25% faster performance, and on the CPU and 35% better GPU performance, right? Graphics performance. So that's number one. Number two, we have a completely revamped, thermal structure for the phone. So this time we've used something called as MMT, middle tap design. So we've got the PCB at the center of the phone. Okay, yeah. And we've split the battery into two. Now this has multiple benefits. One, from a cooling perspective, the thermal efficiency goes up because the CPU can now leverage the central frame. It can leverage the, the thermal vapor chamber, the copper vapor, 3D copper vapor chamber, which is there inside the phone. And it has got multiple graphite sheets as well. So it results into more cooling efficiency or heat spreading, being better, because that's what the core objective of a gaming smartphone is, to ensure that the performance on the processor doesn't, drop by ensuring excellent heat dissipation. Yeah. The other important thing that it does is that when you split the batteries, when you are charging the phone, the heat that is generated, whatever small heat that gets generated while charging the batteries, is also reduced drastically by over 47%. So that also results into, while gaming and charging the phone, better efficiency in terms of pushing the processor to more faster limits. Then our accessories like the fan work superbly well on top of this, because now the entire PCB sits right under the fan. And this is able to, push the processor in terms of cooling by further 10 degrees when you're using the fan. And therefore, we can further kind of, push the clock speeds of the processor even higher and ensure that you get better performance. So all in all, you get way better performance, way better thermals because of this reason. Second important thing that we've done is on the software side also, we've got given you multiple modes. So you've got X mode plus, which are, preset tuning modes, which you can further customize if required for pushing the performance the way you want it. Also, there's dynamic mode, which is automated adjustment of the performance. Then there is hardcore tuning, which is possible, with the advanced mode. And then you've got, ultra durable mode, which ensures very, very good battery life, and it optimizes the system in that fashion.
Yeah.
Now coming to the other important aspect, other big upgrade is the display. So for the first time on the ROG phone, in partnership with Samsung, we are actually getting a customized AMOLED display of Samsung. And here, some of the peak aspects about the display are: number one, it's got great speed and it's got great accuracy. So it's 144 Hz refresh rate and it's adaptable refresh rate. You also got manual options of 60, 120, 144, whatever you would want to set it at. It's completely customizable. Then you've got a very, very fast industry-leading 24.3 millisecond touch response time, which means the display responds to your touch crazily fast. And then you've got 300 megahertz like your touch sensing, which happens. So at any point of time, the display is scanning 300 times a second for your touch, which is amazing on a smartphone. And then you've got very high color accuracy. So the delta E is less than 1. The display also supports HDR10 plus. So you can actually, like it also does SDR to HDR, which means your standard dynamic range is converted to high dynamic range. And therefore you can see movies and you can see, within the games scenarios much better and clearer. Also, it's got DC dimming, so even for low light, usage, it is best in class that you get out there. So the display has been pushed to multiple other limits. Plus, the size has been increased within almost the same factor from 6.59 inches to 6.78 inches. The bezels have been reduced, therefore, and the aspect ratio has also been increased to 20.5:9. So the display has major improvements, and the fact that it's customized by Samsung, the quality of Samsung displays is obviously very good, and that's what you get on the phone. Moving forward, when we move from the display, again, we spoke about the battery earlier, the fact that it's been split into two, and it's got its thermal advantages as well as faster charging advantages. Plus, apart from the 30-watt charger which comes in the box, the battery can actually support up to 65 watts charging. And we don't use, proprietary charging technologies. We use standard technology, charging technologies like QC 4.0, correct? So any USB PD charger, can with 65 watts, supporting QC 4.0 tech can actually charge this battery at a very fast rate. You don't need to buy a proprietary charger, and therefore, people who have those kind of chargers, for example, for their PCs available right now, they could directly charge the ROG phone with their PC charger. In fact, practically any good Type-C PC charger would be able to charge it up to a certain, supporting some amount of USB PD will be able to charge it at different speeds. So you don't need to necessarily carry two chargers with you if you got a Type-C charger for your PC. So that's another big advantage that we have with the phone. Moving forward, to the other function, which is very cool, is the air triggers and the number of triggers that we've been able to upgrade to. So one, you've got the same cool functionalities that you have on the air trigger from the ROG Phone 3. Plus, then we built in 10 motion triggers out here. So on any given phone, if you use the split functionality, you can map up to 10 functions on screen to off-screen triggers. Sorry, not 10, up to 14 on-screen functions to different triggers, ultrasonic as well as motion control triggers. Plus, on the Pro and on the Ultimate variant, you also have the two capacitive touch buttons which are coming in. Okay, and therefore the total number of triggers on the phone without any accessory itself is as high as 16. Okay, plus you can use now without any accessory also out there, up to 6 fingers to play, which on a normal phone you can use only 2 fingers to play. So you are essentially tripling the capability of controls with your fingers on these phones without any accessories. And on the fan, aero cooler fan, we've added 2 additional triggers. So you could buy the fan at about 3,000 rupees on the normal variant as an extra accessory, and you could have now using your 6 fingers at a time to play a game, which enhances your capability like crazy. Like, sorry, I had the fan put onto my phone, so you can see here, you've got 2 triggers out here, you've got 2 triggers out here, and on Ultimate and Pro, you've got 2 triggers out here. So you are actually now playing with 6 fingers together. Okay, and that enhances your gaming capability like crazy, right, on the phone.
ROG Phone series represents the best that a gaming smartphone can offer to users. And while reviewing the ROG Phone 3 last year, I realized that it has a couple of industry firsts. And obviously the same will be true with ROG Phone 5 series. I want to talk about the development. How challenging do things get when you create a new generation, given that you focus on, bringing new technology to the audience?
Yes, it is challenging, but it's fun, both. Okay, so one is that, if you look at ROG Phone, we need to push the limits. So as a company, let me start with the basics. Okay, we follow a process which is called as design thinking, where we focus on the needs of the consumer, and then we develop our products around it. We test it, and then we go back to the drawing board if any changes need to be done. And then the process of learning is continuous even when the product comes to the market. So we listen to our consumers very closely and carefully. We read all the reviews. We talk to all our fans, in various meets that we do with them. and a lot of this feedback is then taken and built into the product. So that's the first part of it. Second part of it is that when we are designing the product like an ROG phone, it's not like we are giving you a combination of components in a certain manner or standard components in a certain manner. We are actually custom building components for you. So like, for example, the display is custom built. The speakers of the phone, which are dual seven magnet speakers and large and symmetrical, which means both on the top and the bottom side of the phone, you put the exactly same size speaker. Now, these are custom developments which are happening for the phone, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, they take extraordinary effort. It does not happen. It's not like off the shelf. We'll go to a manufacturer of components and just pick up some component for the ROG phone.
Yeah.
Even the thermals are, customized to this specific model. So every component is designed. And then, there's a challenge of accessories because we are also committed to ensure that our accessories can last over a couple of generations, correct? So that the investment which the consumer is making into the accessory kind of gives them a better ROI. So we also got to look at, the challenge of ensuring that while we push the limits of tech on the phone, we also ensure that, the accessories remain compatible. The design has to still be very, very thermally efficient. The performance limits of the 8 series processors, which are like top class performance, like drivers, they need to be, kind of pushed to the max limit, and they need to be controlled for great thermal efficiency as well. So these are some of the, key challenges that our team successfully overcomes and gives you the brilliance which is in form of the ROG phone.
Cool. Now let's talk about the availability. The device is set to launch on 15th April.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about why the delay, because ideally most of the smartphones when they launch are announced, technically they launch in the market in like coming weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, or rather 15 days. But what is the reason that if you could share in this more than a month-long delay?
Correct. So I think it's taking a bit of that. So India requires different manufacturing setup, okay, from the global manufacturing setup, and therefore it takes a bit longer, like maybe a week or 10 days differential, okay, between India manufacturing start and let's say global manufacturing start, which impacts a bit of our timeline. But then please understand the fact that we are getting the product at the same time as global. Okay, so we are getting same resources at the same time. It's just that we take a bit longer to put it together as compared to, let's say, other markets do. That's the only limitation. But apart from that, frankly speaking, it's almost coming at the same time, and we are part of the global launch. We are part of the tier 1. India is a super focused market for ASUS globally, and we get highest priority, from global. Just imagine, I mean, like so many flagships, so many products are launching in other countries, and even I'm sure you are getting the products much later than they're already announced by other countries and other media in other countries, right? But we ensure that you get it at the same time as others do, and it's global embargo for India, and we ensure that we are at the starting point, which is equal rather than being delayed. The sales start date might vary because there are a couple of things that we need to ensure, before we can start sales in India. Also, you need to build up your channel inventory, because unless and until you don't build your channel inventory and you just start the sale, it again has, from a business management perspective, that's not the most efficient way to do your sale. So all these, factors combine to impact the sale date, and because of which there's a bit of a time that is taken between the launch date and the sales start date.
Now, like regarding, I want to talk about this software updates, because I mean, ROG Phone 5 series launches with Android 11 based ROG UI. But in the past, we have seen ROG 3, for example, is still on Android 10 and hasn't been upgraded. So this is one of the only things that one can probably point out to, because specs are and hardware is all on point. So
okay, so there are 2 points about OS, about 2 points about software upgrade. Okay, one is essentially your security patch updates, and second is your OS upgrade.
Yeah.
See, the OS upgrade for ROG does take slightly longer because it's not about, when you're talking about standalone phones in the market, when the OS is getting upgraded on those phones, it's just one product, which is that phone. correct?
Yeah, yeah.
When it comes to an ROG phone, it is phone plus all the accessories that we built around it, because everything has to be compatible to the software as well. So an OS change is relatively more time consuming on an ROG kind of a phone than, let's say, a standard phone. Now, as far as 3 is concerned, please wait and see what we do. I mean, like very soon. Okay. So I don't think so. You need to worry about, let's say, an OS upgrade on 3 as well. Is all that I can, confirm at the moment. Yeah.
Cool. This next question we have already discussed, but this is for the fans. The ROG Phone 5 series comes with a lot of gamer-specific features, be it the inversion of the screen to give some advantage, or be it the 16 or even 18 point touch inputs or controls to the user. This gives the player or the owner like a fair bit of advantage if they can use. But it does, uneven the playing field for the rest of the players who don't have a ROG phone. So where does or how does ASUS actually bring or draw the line in the sand that this is fair and this is not, or something?
Okay. So first of all, ROG phone is designed to support a gamer with 2 superior functions. Okay, if I were to draw the essence of it, okay, the first one is actually about controls, making controls and easy. Because if you look at the research which is coming out also, which clearly shows that one of the factors that people talk about is they find it difficult to play. Like, for example, when you get into PUBG and let's say somebody is a bit pro at it, he can in front of you jump, move, shoot all together, and he may be playing with a claw grip, okay, on the phone. Okay, he might not only be using his thumb. Now, as a normal consumer, you'll not be able to play with a claw grip so easily. Even I find it very tough if I have to play with a claw grip. Now, that's what ROG phone does. It makes your controlling power much more easier, so that you can use multiple fingers together to close the gap with a pro player. Okay. Now, second point is about sensory powers. Okay, now this is a level playing field because it depends upon the display quality, the sound quality, which makes a big difference in terms of your sensory capabilities in gaming. Because when you're playing a game and you get, let's say, much better perception of audio, and you know where the movement is from, where the shot is being fired at you from, with the sensory, with the directional audio input which comes from the speakers, if that is very clear, then your progress in the game goes up. Now, that's a level playing field. It depends upon the kind of investment you're making in your hardware, correct? And it's common across the board, whether you go into PC gaming or whether you go into smartphone gaming. Now, the third important aspect is about, let's say, if you're a pro gamer and you want to practice in a manner that others would do on regular smartphones. So we built in a mode called the esports mode. You switch on the esports mode, and all the additional functions which are not permissible, okay, retaining the core functions of enhancing your sensory power, but those additional controls that you get which make it easier for you to play the game as compared to others, those get switched off. And therefore it brings you to the same level field. So you can decide, the decision has been put into the consumer's hand. It gives you both the capabilities. You want to use it, it's up to you. You don't want to use it, it's up to you. It just enhances your choice and it's more fun. For a person like me, I love gaming, right? But then I don't want to go and I'm not getting ready for participating in an esport tournament with Mortal or Scout, right? Those guys are pros. They spend 10 to 12 hours a day doing that, and my job is to give you the kind of weapons which can help you to win out there in the game. So I focus on making the weapon, and there are people who focus on fighting with that weapon, right? And my job is to make the weapon so good that even if anybody who picks it up, okay, and when I say I mean ASUS's job is basically to make a weapon that anybody who picks it up gets enormous powers to play the game and kind of win. And ultimately, why do you play the game? You play the game for busting a stress. You play game, it's a kind of an entertainment. It's also social today. And at the end of the day, the feeling of ultimately it'll leave you with a good feeling because it helps you to win. If you win, you feel good. And that's not bad. It's actually good.
Yeah, makes sense. So, ASUS has also conducted a lot of esports tournaments last year during the pandemic, during the lockdown. What
Yes.
can we expect on that aspect from especially on the smartphone side this year?
So yeah, so we'll continue with the esports formats that we have. So like for example, Battle of Gods will continue, and we look at probably another season at some point of time very soon. Okay, so we've just completed one season, so we've almost completed 25 weeks of Battle of God, and like our fans have won prize pool of more than 15 lakh rupees over the two Battle of Gods every weekend. In the Battle of Gods 2, they were winning over 50,000 in cash prizes, and this is something which is core to us. So we support esports and we'll continue to do that. What new formats we'll do, you can see in the near future. But the point is that our strong engagement with community, with the ROG Phone users, and giving them some differentiated experiences of gaming and esports is going to definitely continue.
I guess you already answered my next question, but I still have to ask if you probably open the stage for any teasers and all. How does the company plan on engaging with the esports audience in India? Any teasers? Like you have given the overview.
Yeah, so specific plans, Rian, wait and watch. I mean,
Okay.
because as and when they'll get unveiled, we'll talk about it. But you've seen, it's not like you've seen ASUS being constantly present, right, on that particular scene, and supporting the ecosystem, and also supporting all the ROG Phone consumers to experience esports. So that commitment is already demonstrated in a very strong way, and that's going to continue.
Yeah. How does the company plan to tie up with game developers to offer exclusive experiences to ROG Phone series users?
Yeah, so we are already, partnering with game developers. There are so many differentiated experiences which are there. Like for example, the haptic audio which you have with a couple of games. Then you've got support for Google Stadia, for example. Then you've got multiple other games like Asphalt and multiple other 8 to 10 titles. There are integrations which are there. Then like in the new ROG Phone 5 series, you've got themes which are game inspired and look very, very cool, right? Again, with the leading 8 to 10 titles out there. So basically that, and we've got also partnership with Unity Engine, which addresses a better integration to game developers for ROG Phone. So yeah, there is a lot of work happening in that area.
Cool. Final question, and it's a very mix of the questions that I've asked like previously. How is is ASUS planning to make like ROG Phone 5 series as an exclusive platform for esports? Like the Battle of Gods is obviously open for the owners of ROG Phone 5 or the 3 in previous iterations, but anything exclusive to the product in coming time?
Rehan, can you be a little bit more elaborate about this part? Like, what do you mean by, what set of consumers you want us to cover with what?
So, for example, there are esports events, and more companies are
open to all esports events, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think these are very, very specific plan-related questions. I would say we are overall supportive of esports, and wait and watch. I mean, like, what do we actually, kind of build upon this year in this area as well?
Cool. Awesome. That concludes the chat. Thanks a lot for your time, Dinesh.
Thanks, Rehan. Thanks for the time, and thanks to all the viewers for watching this as well.
And all the best to ASUS for ROG Phone 5 series and everything.